O.J. Simpson, John Benet Ramsey, William Kennedy Smith, they all have one thing in common. Dr. Henry Lee, America's foremost crime scene expert. You might describe him as a 21st century Sherlock Holmes. But if you tried to invent a fictional character like Henry Lee, nobody would believe it.
Hi, how are you doing? Henry? Hi. Hi, Dr. Hey, how are you doing?
Watching Dr. Henry Lee work a convention of detectives,
Mark, how are you doing?
it's easy to forget he may be the premier crime scene investigator in the world.
Dr. Henry Lee.
But in the dark world of murder, Henry Lee is a star of sorts.
We live on reputation.
Dr. Lee made his reputation as the chief forensic scientist for the Connecticut State Police. His lectures are meant to train detectives about how important it is to seal off and preserve the scene of the crime so tiny clues won't be trampled or missed.
Detective get to the scene, quickly surround the body. Afraid the body get up and walk away.
Dr. Lee starts them off with the easy cases. His slideshow includes a crime scene photo of the shooting victim who was found wearing a T-shirt that aptly read, "I just got shot."
14 detectives surround the body. Dr. Lee, what happened to him? That's elementary. He just got shot. Look at the bullet hole.
You'd never suspect, over the past 40 years, he's helped to investigate over 6,000 cases. War crimes in Bosnia and Croatia, the suicide of Clinton attorney Vince Foster, the John Benet Ramsey murder. But often, he's hired by defense lawyers to examine the prosecution's evidence. He was a key witness in the trial that led to the acquittal of William Kennedy Smith on rape charges. But that is not the case that made him famous. The case that made him famous was a double murder in Los Angeles. The defendant, a man Dr. Lee says he had never heard of until then. You really never heard of O.J. Simpson?
Never heard of it. Never heard of it. And I say, he must be not too famous.
In his latest book, Cracking Cases, The Science of Solving Crimes, Dr. Lee revealed a critical oversight of the Los Angeles police investigation. Investigators had missed several drops of blood on Nicole Simpson's back. Dr. Lee noticed the blood in crime scene photos he examined. Well, whose blood was it? Would it have matched O.J. Simpson, who said he cut his hand on a broken glass that day, or did it belong to someone else? The blood was never tested.
If those blood collected, tested, you found out that's O.J. Simpson's DNA, case already solved. If you found out that's not O.J. Simpson's DNA, case also solved. Unfortunately, body was washed and gone.
And that's not on the clothes, that's on her.
On her back.
Discovering that blood in the photos was important to the defense case, so much so that when Dr. Lee testified for the Simpson team, the prosecution tried everything to challenge his credentials, even going after him because a ruler he used was 1/1000th of an inch short. The cross-examination didn't do much to discredit Dr. Lee, but it did become a part of his routine.
Do you know your ruler is 1,000 inch short? I say, no, sir, I don't know that. But the DA doesn't want to give up. That's the only thing he can beat on me. But you are a scientist. Scientists have to be exact. I said, counselor, give me a break. $1.49, I bought it.
Henry Lee started his career as a police officer in Taiwan. He made it to the rank of captain. As for homicide, he didn't take to it right away.
When I was in Taiwan, the first homicide case is a dismembering case. For a month, I don't want to eat meat. I almost become a vegetarian.
Wouldn't it have been easier to give up murder?
You're right. Except somebody have to do the work. Because the victim's family depends on us. The society depends on us.
It's amazing to think he arrived in New York in 1965. He had about $50 in his pockets and knew about 3 words of English. Within 10 years, he had a doctorate in biochemistry and a job at the University of New Haven running a small forensics department. 4 years later, he was hired to run the Connecticut State Police Crime Lab, but there wasn't much of a lab to run.
The whole laboratory had one microscope.
In a converted men's room?
Yes. And that's how we started.
But early on, Dr. Lee refused to wait for the evidence to be brought to the lab. He insisted on going to the scene of the crime himself. I've always tried to figure this out about you. Are you a cop at heart who became a scientist? Are you a scientist at heart who became a cop?
Well, it's a combination. I don't want to spend all my day in the laboratory play with test tube. So forensic science field really provide me this opportunity.
He always seems to find the truth, no matter how long it takes.
We joined Dr. Lee and his family for dinner at his Connecticut home, but like clockwork, after dinner, he would politely rush us out, anxious to go to the study over his garage to resume his search for hidden truths.
Middle of the night, I can read those, no interruption. That's the best time to do my thinking.
He doesn't solve every case, no one does, but often enough, there it is, that one clue, the one no one else could see.
The evidence, just like a piece of history, like a history book, it's waited for us to read it. If you did not read the page, you missed it.